Or it could even represent you, Virgo, if you are feeling like you're the head of a company, or you're thinking about venturing off, leading some charge, leading some sort of effort. You may need to be the one who's at the top. You may need to be the one who is the head of the army. The Emperor is usually it's the most masculine card in the deck, and so it's usually the head of an army. And he's usually an older figure with experience and wisdom, but he's very focused on his empire, his rules, his decrees, having authority, and enforcing those. So rules, boundaries, restrictions, laws, all of those come up with Emperor energy. It can also represent the archetype of father energy. So if you are engaging with someone who is either a father or a grandfather, or who has authority of some sort, landlord, a boss, that's all showing up for you with 4 energy. But it's very stable. But sometimes it can be oppressively stable in the sense of like the 4 walls. And there may be something that you're trying to find out the truth of the matter regarding this Emperor person. Hermit tells me, Hermit is someone who is preoccupied with discovering or finding out the truth. He's willing to strip everything else away, everything of the world, all the trappings of the world, all the noise and sort of just like clamoring things that people get caught up in. Hermit strips all that away, and he says, I'm just interested in the truth. I'm just interested in holding up the light of what the truth is. And because he's looking at Emperor, it's saying to me that you're maybe trying to find out the truth of some law, some restriction, some boundary, or the truth about who this father person is, who this person of authority is. You're looking to find out the truth about them, or what they stand for. And that's how May opens for you, Virgo. I don't see necessarily right now that your decision-making skills are favored. Right now you have Chariot in reverse, which Chariot usually has an instinctive flow about things. This is hard control, so making decisions with the mind and having, a logical, analytical approach to things, but also trusting your gut. And Chariot is able to make those fine distinctions sort of on the fly while the Chariot is running, and that's how he crosses the finish line. It's basically good judgment because he trusts his instincts. But right now you may not be trusting your instincts, or you may not be experiencing good judgment that's going to lead you to a path of success or victory, Virgo. So I would say for right now, you may want to have it be like a review time. You may want to look into things further. That's Hermit energy, where it's about research and looking at the truth, stripping things away. Or you may want to rely more upon your intuitive approach to things, soften up on control, because this card is saying hard control, winning the race. Sometimes I think of an athlete when I think of Chariot too, because he's doing everything, preparation, has his horses trained and will do anything to cross that finish line, and usually is successful. But right now that's in shadow for you. That's not showing up for you. So might just hold off on making any decisions because it seems a little cloudy for you right now, Virgo. What I do see is that you have a nice, intimate opportunity for you. You've got lovers showing up, so that could be either a relationship that you're currently in and the intimacy deepens, or that if you're not in a relationship, that a relationship shows up for you. It could be that relationship energy is surrounding you. So that means you could take your current relationship to a new level, or it may be where your focus is. Or if in the case if you're single, it may be that relationship energy is something that you're beginning to consider, or that you may feel like you can be vulnerable and candid and open and naked and intimate with someone else. So it's just that you may need to, as far as trusting your judgment, it looks to me like you're not really trusting your judgment at the beginning of the month, maybe even in regards to a relationship, Virgo. At the middle of the month, these are two very sweet cards together. Star represents hope. And, here's that naked woman again, echoed in the Lover's card. So this may be a beginning consideration of opening up more, being more vulnerable, being stronger, being more intimate. And hope, the star, I call it hope, but it can also just be the radiance of self-acceptance. When you accept yourself just as you are, which is represented by the naked woman in the card, when you accept yourself just as you are in your place in the universe, you begin to shine forth this sort of gentle radiance. And that's where hope comes in, because it's like I've accepted the order of the universe. I've accepted things as they are. I see the perfection in things. I see hope in the way things just as they are. And this card is sweet because it's a message of love. Both of these cards are vulnerable in their own way. What's interesting is he's wearing armor and then she's wearing nothing. So Knight of Cups is someone who wears their heart on their sleeve. It's a message of love. So this may be that a message of love strips everything bare and brings new hope to a situation, whether it's you communicating the message of love, saying what's on your heart, or if this is a message that you're receiving, that could be the case too, where it gives you new hope and makes you feel grounded, both, one foot on the ground and one foot in the emotional waters. It makes you have this sort of balanced feeling. Alternately, the Knight of Cups can also represent a water sign. So that could be either Pisces, Cancer, or Scorpio. And usually a knight is someone who is clever, romantic, passionate. Sometimes they can be a bit of a trickster. But with these two cards together, I'm really getting this sweet water energy, sharing of love, acceptance of the self, vulnerability. There's a lot of vulnerability in this card. Sharing of hope and love, messages that are on the heart. So that's kind of a nice place for you in the middle of May, Virgo. If either be open to receiving a message of love in the middle of the month, or if there's something on your heart that you want to share with someone else, feel free to share it, because this is a messenger card. He's wearing the armor of Mercury or Hermes, who is the messenger god. And he's carrying a cup, which represents the heart or emotional energy. So it's a message of the heart. Be open to that. It might give you a lot more hope, acceptance, acceptance of yourself in the place of things, acceptance of your own innate dignity and radiance. Also in the middle of the month, there's going to be something that there's something that the sun is setting on, but you may have a hard time seeing what the benefit of that situation is. In other words, I always call this card the rewards of the spoils, or sometimes I call it there's, oh gosh, who's the actor? It's A Fistful of Dollars, Clint Eastwood. Sometimes, Fistful of Dollars works for this because they're collecting all the spoils from a conflict that has happened. And Five of Swords depicts someone on a battlefield who is collecting what's left over after the battle has happened. So, and swords represent mental energy, so ideas, thoughts, knowledge, wisdom. What I usually say about this card is that you're collecting experience after something has happened, after some conflict has come. You can at least collect the jewels from it. You can collect the knowledge. You can collect the experience and have new ideas about things. They become tools in your arsenal of how to approach a different battlefield or a different conflict. But in the reverse position, I'm saying that for you, Virgo, it might be hard to see the benefit or see the leftover spoils, the treasures of war that have happened, or the open conflict that's happened. See if you can see the silver lining to the gray cloud, is what this is telling me in this position. That even though there may be something that is ending, or that there was a conflict, a battlefield, there may be something to gain from it. And see if you can access that. See if you can see that, so you can pick those swords up, those ideas. that's going to, if you're able to do that, that may lead you to a lot of satisfaction and feeling full. Nine of Cups is a card of satiation. It's a card of someone who's been able to eat and drink a lot. Sometimes they can be a little bit smug even, but it's someone who has quite a plenty and someone who has more than they need. You can see it's basically, I think of someone with like a very full wine locker or very full wine closet that with all these wine goblets behind them. It's abundant, it's satiated, it's full. It's also a card of satisfaction and pleasure. So, in line with lovers, that's a nice compliment. You might find a lot of satisfaction in May, beginning and middle of May, in a love relationship. So, but I do see too with this card, Five of Swords, looking at Nine of Cups, that and also with their backgrounds being the same, I'm seeing these two as tied together, so that you may find some sort of, I'm actually going to say peace of mind and satisfaction or final satisfaction in whatever you were able to collect from any conflicts or battlefields, battlegrounds that have happened or will happen in the middle of May. It may be middle of May when you recognize what the benefit or the spoils of that war have been. And nines are endings of cycles too. I mean, they are letting things go, and you might feel satisfied in being able to let this whole thing go. At the end of the month, I see Seven of Wands for you. This means holding your ground, standing up for yourself, asserting yourself. Sometimes the way this card is depicted is success despite struggle. So in the card, there's one man with a staff or a rod, and he's some people say he's fighting off 6 others or fighting them, and some people say he's leading them. So it's basically staying true to what you believe and being willing to fight for it, being willing to assert yourself, to hold your position, and to believe in what you're doing enough to, stand on the top of that mountain and either lead others in your cause or fight off ones who are disagreeing with you. It's kind of like just holding your ground. So that's a nice card of strength and confidence towards the end of the month for you, Virgo. I see also at the end of the month, there's 2 things happening with Fool and with, it makes me laugh with Queen of Swords because she's someone who doesn't suffer fools. This is a card of, you could either relate to this as you, Virgo, or it could also be an air sign because swords represent the air element. So this could potentially be a Gemini, a Libra, or an Aquarius. But what's really funny is that Fool's like a joker. He can take on anyone's personality. He can sort of shapeshift. He can be anyone he wants to be. He's got this youthful potential energy kind of vibe to him. That's his archetype, is that everything's new. He's just starting out in the game. He's got beginner's mind, and he can be a little bit silly or a little bit playful, or foolish is a really good word for fool. She doesn't really tolerate fools too well. So these two are head to head. These two are not seeing eye to eye at all. This is actually making me laugh a little bit because someone is showing up as Queen of Swords. Now that could be you, or like I said again, it could be an air sign. But Queen of Swords is someone who lays down the law. She is someone who just says, this is how it is. Don't cross me. She can be very sharp-tongued, but she's also very fair. And she's also very witty, and she doesn't really mess around. She's kind of a no nonsense kind of person. And he's all about nonsense and frivolity and let's go swimming, let's go surfing, let's go play. And she's like, no, let's get down to business. So there's something towards the end of the month where 2 people are seeing things very differently. This person wants to get down to business. This person wants to just play. And those 2 are not she may actually be in a place of disciplining this person, because Queen of Swords is an authority figure, and she has the logical, analytical mind and consideration of the rules, enforcement of the rules, where this person is he's almost reminding me of like a little teenage kid or a boy who's just wants to play. And she's like, no, here's the sword. I'm laying down the law. So that's some sort of energy that's going on at the end of the month for you, Virgo. I don't know which of those you relate to more, or if it's just something that you're going to be witnessing, but it's kind of funny. And then at the very end of the month, I see strength, which is just requiring patience. So actually, if you're a mother, by the way, Virgo, usually this is air sign, but this could be you. If you're a Virgo mother with a son, or a younger child, younger person that you're just having to like sort of suffer fools with, just kind of like endure them. Just use your patient, quiet strength. This is, it's a card of gentleness. It's a card of she tames the lion, not through force, but through her gentleness. These two cards are different because, and it's interesting, this is in reverse and this is upright. This is a card of hard control, forcing things, domination, it's all that really hard, controlling energy, running the race, whereas strength is a card of soft control, being patient, being enduring, not needing it all to happen right now. And through that, she's actually able to open the jaws of the lion, which Chariot could never do. He has to like harness everything down, strap everything down. He wants to be in control. Strength succeeds and finds, success and strength and endurance through being gentle, through being patient, through being kind and compassionate. So that's going to be a takeaway for you this month, Virgo. See if you can enable the power of strength through being patient, through being enduring, through being kind. That's going to serve you in May, Virgo.